This is my math homework number 26, Tuesday. For number 1, it says a theater collected $6 for each ticket sold to a movie. The theater sold 500 tickets to the movie. The expression below can be used to find how much money the theater collected for the ticket. So it's $6 per ticket and there were 500. So it'll be 6 times 500. Which expression can also be used? Well, the other one could be, we could do 6 times 5, which is 30, and add 2 zeros, right? And the 2 zeros is from 100 or 10 to the power of 2. So the one you want is the letter C, because that one 6 times 5, which is 30, and then add 2 zeros, which is 10 to the power of 2. The first one is wrong because that would be only 1 zero. Second one is wrong because that would be too many zeros, so C would be the correct one with 2 zeros. For number 2, it says Carol used 3 3/4 cups of butter for baking. The amount of sugar she used was 1/3 of the amount of butter she used. The amount of sugar she used was 1/3 of the amount of butter she used. So whenever you see the word of, it means multiply. So it would be 3 3/4 times 1/3 of it. So it would be times 1/3. Now the issue is that 1 is a mixed number and 1 is a fraction. So we have to change them to make it a fraction times a fraction. This is 4 times 3, which is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. So it will be 15 over 4 times 1/3. And that will give us 15 over 12. And when we have that, we will read that as 15 is being divided by 12. So we know that 12 can go to 15 one whole. And we have 3/12. And 3/12 is really 1/4. Because when you divide both by 3, the numerator and the denominator, it makes 1/4. So the answer is 1 and 1/4. So that's going to be the letter A. So once again, when it's 1/3 of something, you're going to multiply that number by a third or a half of something, whatever that fraction is, because of means to multiply. A store sells 107 different colors of paint. They have 25 cans of each color in storage. Pretty much it's already there. All you have to do is just multiply it and get our answer. 7 times 5 is 35, carry them at 3. 5 times 0 is 0, add 3 is 3. 5 times 1 is 5. Add a 0. So we already know it has to be B or C, because when you add 5 plus 0, you get 5. And it cannot be 749 and 4,250. So that's a good strategy to use when you are taking a multiplication, or when you are doing a multiple choice question. Now it's 2 times 7, which is 14. Carry the 1. So far we have a 7 there. So it has to be the letter B. And then 2 times 0 is 0, and then add 1, and then 2 times 1 is 2. And as you can tell, it is B. But we already knew it was B because B is the only number that had a 7 and a 5 in the last 2 digits. Let's go and erase this. Moving on to the next one. It says, Yala bought 5/9 of a pound of cherries to school. Will bought 4/15 of a pound of cherries to school. Yala used the expression below to find the difference in the number of pounds of cherries she and Will brought to school. So she's doing 5/9 minus 4/15. Which expression shows one way to solve the expression Yala used above? Well, you would need a common denominator, so you would have 45 and 45. On the left side, that would be 9 times 5, and then 5 times 5, so that would be 25 on top. On this one, it would be times 3 and times 3, and that would be 12. So the one you want would be the letter D. That's one with the common denominator 45 with 25 up top and 12 on the other fraction.